What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to the party. Today is Wednesday, July 1st. Happy July, second half of 2026. This is Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief. I'm your host, Two Thumbs, All Smiles, Dr. Gerald, Auger, coming to you live from the Extended Mobile Studio Summer Edition. If you're looking to stay current on the top cyber news stories of the day while hanging out with a bunch of like-minded, supportive, inclusive, awesome professionals, well, you're in the right place. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable. We got a great show for you. We're off and running on this beautiful Wednesday morning. All right. Yes. That's right. So we are cooking with gas, baby, this morning. I want to welcome all of you. We've been off and running. It is a short week, no show on Friday. So we're accelerating through, pushing the limits of what's possible here at Simply Cyber. I want to say what's up to Hot Plate, Steve Young, Code Brew, Ad Tech, who was here early, B. Wenga, TJ and Marlon J. I saw TJ in mod, not in mod chat, in the water cooler chat earlier today. Good to see you. Hey, L came in. L came back. He was a first timer yesterday. He's coffeeless today. I'll pour a little bit out for you, L. Give you a little sippy sip there. Oh my God. Coffee is life. I got to tell you guys. I know some people are more tea people, but I got to tell you, my blood type is French roast. Guys, listen, every single day we do the show live. You are part of the show. Your chat is right here, coming in hot with us. I do want to say we have 8 stories, top cyber news stories of the day for July 1st. We're going to go through them. Of course, every episode we give you the high level vibes of what you need to know. The same thing that you'd be able to do if you had like an AI scraping the interwebs and pulling down a morning brief for you, which is fine. That's a great way to do it. But why would you want to be here? Well, first of all, the community is awesome and it's all about networking in 2026. But more importantly, I freaking love cybersecurity. I love educating. I love helping people. And when you put those all into the pestle bowl and start grinding the crap out of it, it makes a nice little, mix there that is the show. So what do? I take the story. I go beyond the headlines. I give you insights, value, things that you wouldn't necessarily get just by reading it on the surface, because I've got experience. I've got life lessons. I've seen it. And you know what makes me tick? You know what makes me happy? Watching someone else not have to struggle through some of the challenges that I went through, because there's no freaking reason for you to have to deal with it if someone can just tell you. Anyone who says like, oh no, they've got to experience it for themselves. They've got to trip and fall and smash their face on the sidewalk to really earn it. Those people are gatekeeping, my guy. Like, what the hell? Like, there's going to be other challenges that you're going to encounter anyway. So like, smash your face on the next sidewalk. So that's what we're going to do here. Of the 8 stories, I haven't researched or prepped for any of them. I don't know what they're going to be. So, you're getting my honest reaction, real talk coming at you. Now, every single day of the week, as Sierra Montgomery just put in, is Way Back Wednesday for Wednesday. So Tidbits Tuesday, Way Back Wednesday, What You Mean Thursday. We're going to pick a piece of technology in a minute, kind of a throwback, and see if people can vibe with it, see if people can, just feel a little nostalgia. And if you're young, maybe you saw it in a history book or something like that. Well, it's always different. We have some fun. The reality is cybersecurity is an incredibly serious topic. And if we were serious all the friggin' time, we'd go nuts. So we have to have some fun. We had some hot pinks and blues. We had cool lights behind me. We still do the real work, but we don't make it, own us. All right? So I do want to say what's up. I see the mods in chat. Haircut Fish is here. Jenny Housley's here, among others. DJ BSEC. Great to see you guys. Hope everyone in the mod chat as well. Definitely appreciate y'all being here. There is no show on Friday, as I mentioned before, just so everybody knows. If you're here for the first time, I know Big L was a first timer yesterday. They came. Pirate Kitty, first timer 2 weeks ago, has been coming through pretty regularly. So love welcoming first timers. As always, if today's your first episode, Don't be shy. Drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Let us know. Essentially, we have a sound effect. We have an emote. We have an entire way of welcoming first timers because it can be wicked intimidating.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Hold on. James McQuiggan coming off the top rope with a super chat. Cool LX for a cool guy. Happy Canada Day, eh? Team SC, Simply Cyber. What's cool LX? What does LX mean? Is that like the trim package on a Toyota Camry? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Isaiah Morris, good morning, Simply Cyber family. Happy Worldwide Wednesday. Yes, yes, yes. Love it. Love it, love it. I see Rhonda Rummerfield from the Low Country in here. It's good. All right, guys, what else we got? I got one. Guess what? Every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, including this one, is actually worth half a CPE. Echo 7 Bravo Actual, third timer, will allow it.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thanks so much. Echo, what was it? Echo Tango Bravo? Echo 7 Bravo Actual. Love it. All right, so dudes, every episode is worth half a CP. So very simply, go to cyberthreatbrief.simplycyber.io. Just put an exclamation point CPE in chat, and we'll have the bot give you the link that you need to go to. But you can see it here on the stage if you're watching the video version. If you're listening on audio only, I'm at the landing page for the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. Across the top menu nav, there is a CPE option. It drops you to a form that has today's date, July 1st, today's episode, 1165. You just drop in your name, email, hit a couple check boxes, submit, and on August 1st, you'll get an email, which means, by the way, my friends, today's July 1st. So everybody who's been attending in the month of June is going to get their email today. I do have to manually run it because without getting too into the weeds, I have to migrate the simplycyber.io domain over, and then I have to pay. Maybe I already did pay. I don't know. Basically, like we hit a threshold. There's so many of you who are getting these emails that I have to upgrade to like a pro plan, but I don't want to upgrade to the pro plan until I migrate the back end. It doesn't matter. You know what you actually care about? This is like a classic like end user thing. You guys care about getting the email, so I will be doing it. I just have to do it manually. It's not a big deal. It takes me 10 minutes. You'll get that today, and I'm super pumped for you. Again, if you have any feedback, definitely share it with me tomorrow or in the Discord server, and we'll make this the best experience for you. Now, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is sponsored, okay? And the sponsors pay money, right? Like, just to be wicked transparent. It's like, so it's not weird. Happy birthday, Domino, 19-year-old today. I don't know who Domino is, but congratulations, Domino. Happy birthday. Woo! Give you a Ric Flair woo. Yeah, so I'm very happy that the show is sponsored and the sponsors are able to basically be groups that I really, really appreciate and enjoy, but also help fund what we're doing here. They believe in what we're doing, and I love it. So first of all, let's start with Anti-Siphon Training. Guys, they are coming off the top rope with this ridiculously awesome opportunity. They did the threat hunting summit not too long ago. Well, John Strand over there said, hold my beer. And now on August 14th, they're doing a virtual AI and security summit. You can learn how security experts are using AI today. Okay, by the way, shout out to all the squad members. Code Brew, 31 months. DJ BSEC, 47 months. Straight Flex in Roswell, UK, 26 months. I do think it's funny, really quick, as an aside. DJ BSEC, 47 months. I'm actually going to look at my own really quickly. I think, hold on. Holla. Yeah, here's me, 41 months. DJ BSEC's been, like I started Simply Cyber, but DJ BSEC's been here longer. God. That's like the most right on top of like me turning into an executive and just being aloof. All right, here we go. So 44 days, 1 hour, 49 minutes until the plane lands for the AI summit. This isn't like, oh, here's how you prompt engineer. Remember when that was a thing? This is literally like how red teamers, blue teamers, potentially GRC people are using AI. So, dude, Marcus Kyler, 42 months. Marcus Kyler's been here longer than me. Luke Canfield, 33 months. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. If you're a squad member and you've got your member milestone thing, just click the little dollar logo in the chat tray there and you'll see it. Sierra Montgomery, longer than this. Who's counting, though? Love it. Thank you, Sierra Montgomery, 22 months. Blue badge, looking good on you. Guys, listen, it's very simple. The AI Summit, you sign up. If you don't go, it's not a big deal. They're not going to crush you for it. If you do go, you're going to get immense value. I'll be telling you about this summit periodically. I will be registering for this. This is kind of unprofessional for me to do this in real time, but I'm just going to check my schedule. August 14th. This is after Black Hat DEF CON. I do have an appointment on the 12th, but the 14th is a Friday. You go on with your bad self, Anti-Siphon, doing this on a Friday. I'm going to book my entire Friday right now. Doink. And AI Summit. There you go. I'll be there learning from the best and brightest over at Anti-Siphon with you. Also want to say holla, holla, holla to ThreatLocker. Jenny Housley, 45 months. Dan Reardon, 44 months. The whole mod team's been here longer than me. John, 1 month. I love it. Upgrading to that yellow goldish badge. Thanks, John. I hope you're getting value. Guy named 303, 9 months. I'm on board for 3 more months. Love it. So Zero Trust, dude. ThreatLocker is crushing it. I love what the people over at ThreatLocker that I've met. They have hundreds of employees. They take Zero Trust and application, authorized application security, which is very difficult to do. They make it practical. Essentially, apps that are not allowed to run in your environment are not allowed to run in your environment. So new malware doesn't run. PowerShell scripts that just came out of nowhere doesn't run. It's wild what they're doing. Let's hear from them really quickly, and then I'm going to rip through all these squad members. But first, let me rip through the squad members. AdTech, Team Solo, let's go with the Oprah emotes. Andy Stevens, love it, dude. Thanks so much for joining the squad. We got to... Oh, wow. I'm going to try to fix that anime there. Hey, Nicole, 34 months. Damn, Nicole, that's awesome. Blue badge, almost 3 years, crushing it. Tech Grunt, always supportive, bringing the heat. 27 months, agree with you. Been here longer than that. 20 months. Fred on, good to see you, man. Feels like yesterday. Fred on from Ghana, giving me that awesome spicy soup recipe when I was feeling sick, dude. Hey, really quickly, just as a quick aside, since we're kind of doing a milestone rundown unexpectedly, CyberSec JS, 41 months. God damn. 3.5 years, my guy. Love it. Listen, genuinely appreciate you. Thank you so much, all of you. I know many of you have been here a very long time, and the badges are demonstrating that objectively, which as a GRC dork, I love evidence. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. And we have built Simply Cyber together, and I genuinely appreciate it. So thank you very much. Just really from the bottom of my heart. I couldn't have done it without you. All right, let's hear from ThreatLocker really quickly, and then we're going to get into the news. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. All right. Hey, we're about to get into it. I just wanted to share with you really quickly while the video was playing, Mod Chat was popping, and apparently Haircut Fish wants everyone to know that loving evidence is not a solo GRC thing. All right, so for all my blue teamers out there, you can love evidence too, okay? Who doesn't love it? You know what, blue teamers, you're right. Telemetry speaks volumes. If you get into an environment and it doesn't have logs, that's the first thing you do. So, ladies and gentlemen, Dan Reardon, your resident representative for non-GRC Mafia people. Code Brew with 5 gifted subs, dropping the hammer, allowing 5 new people to enjoy and relish the squad emo trays. I love it. All right, guys, do me a favor. Oh my God, James the Quicken, 5 gifted subs. We got 10 new members. Late to the party, Mr. Buddha, 3 months, looking good. Hey, no reason to say sorry, man. You get here when you get here. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, guys, do me a favor. Now, sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome wave. Guys, I'll see you at the mid-roll. Let's cook.
CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Wednesday, July 1st, 2026. I'm Rich Straffolino. Bash can spell trouble GNU for AI agents. Researchers at Adversa AI found a structural flaw called guard fall in how AI coding agents guard against dangerous shell commands. The issue traces to the open source Noose Research Hermes Agent project, where a regex-based guard could be bypassed using decades-old bash tricks like quote removal and command substitution, since these guards check the raw text and AI model writes, not what bash actually does once it's expanded. A broader survey of 11 popular agents, representing roughly 548,000 combined GitHub stars, found 10 shared the same gap. Live Test used Claude Sonnet 4.6, which usually refused direct malicious requests, but went along with the same payload disguised as routine work in a makefile or poisoned README.
Okay, so this story right here is highlighting one of the challenges that we're going to encounter with vibe coding. Okay, so everybody hears vibe coded, I'm sure. You know, just like, oh, make me a dashboard or something like that. Well, they're pointing out here that even if the AI coding agent is trained up with, OWASP top 10 best practices and all these other things, if it's using bash as part of its build, it is introducing risk that will allow a threat actor to basically weaponize a repository in a malicious way. And spoiler alert, the code is still the code is secure. It's just the ability to pull in the
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
To pull in the bash to run some shell stuff. Hey, really quick, Mara Levy with the super chat. I'm grateful for this awesome community. I'm coming up on 2 years and have made many wonderful connections here. Thank you. Of course, Mara, always good. Plus, fun fact if you want, Mara Levy, great with stickers and huge Weezer fan. So if you love Weezer, like even if it's just the Blue album, Mara is your point of contact for all things Weezer. All right. You can see here, it's not a specific bug, but a process that can get the malicious bash in. Listen, guys, I want to remind you too, this one's a little difficult, but like when we are looking like as a threat actor or, a pen tester or whatever, or even a GRC person looking for vulnerabilities, when you're thinking of where risk could potentially be, where weakness or exposure could possibly be, there's only 3 places. Like, I hate to be like a wet blanket here or throw sand up your shorts at the beach, but like it's either a tech issue, it needs to be patched, it's a vulnerable, whatever, misconfigured tech. It's a human issue, right? You're sending Marco Rubio a text message saying that you're help support and that you want him to give you his username and password, and he does. I picked Marco Rubio because if you were here yesterday, I referenced Marco Rubio for the Telegram signal thing or WhatsApp signal, and I didn't see any first timers here, so I didn't think I was being exclusive. Right? So tech and people, and this is the one most people think about, but there's a third one, and it's called process, baby. And you can attack a process. If you're looking for like a really great example of how to exploit process or find weakness in process, Chris Rock, not the comedian Chris Rock, but the Australian security researcher who is also low-key a member of the Simply Cyber community. He just pops up once in a while. He gave a talk at DEF CON, like, I don't know, 2014 on how he can kill you. Essentially, he discovered the process for declaring someone dead legally, with, it could be exploited, right? So he like registered himself as like a mortician, and he was able to like sign off on people's death certificates and all this other stuff. So go look for Chris Rock, I Will Kill You, DEF CON talk. And it's an hour-long talk. It's phenomenal. But it is a perfect example of, like, it is a case study on how you can attack a process. And that's essentially what's happening here. There's nothing wrong with Bash. There's nothing wrong with your vibe coded crap. It's just that the way that Bash will allow you to ingest information and instructions from the agent will allow it to get pushed malicious content. So the real question here is, how do you avoid it or fix it, right? By the way, the security researchers call this issue guardfall, which, by the way, thank you for the people who have been getting my incessant handwritten letters to the greater vulnerability community about, we need to give vulnerabilities cool names again. We need to give vulnerabilities cool graphics. Guardfall, can we get some graphics for them? And if you guys think I'm crazy, I'm telling you, back like 10 years ago, like vulnerabilities, every one of them would get like a cool name and a cool graphic. And it made it very easy to socialize it to a wider audience about the, because it had some stickiness too, right? Trust me, Guardfall with a cool graphic is going to get a lot more traction than, did you see CVE 2026-74327, the Bash process-specific ingestion flaw? Yeah, like no one's going to be talking about that, right? Like you are, like, even if you're a cyber person, you're falling asleep by the time someone's trying to explain this crap to you. Now let's talk about how do we avoid this thing. All right, so it could come from a malicious MCP server. It could come from a fetch web page, other possible sources. So, by the way, remember, when you are giving your AI agent all of the permissions to go out and do all of the things, you're like introducing a lot of potential risk, because the AI agent is going to achieve and go for its goal regardless, right? So if it's downloading malicious stuff, it's like, no problem. I'm trying to accomplish my goal. The good news is it is not a trivial process to exploit the guardfall, which lowers the barrier to entry for threat actors. Which raises the barrier of entry for threat actors, excuse me. So how do we clean this up, dude? The only long-term solution is for the open source agent maintainers to implement a continue style tokenize and colloquialize. Oh my God, colloquialize. Can we get a phonetic pronunciation on this thing? Colloquialize evaluator guard inside the agent itself. Good luck with that. All right, so this just sounds like one of those issues that we're just going to YOLO and see what happens. Not good. If you are a security researcher, if you are trying to like find some interesting things with AI to do, which, by the way, would be a phenomenal way to differentiate yourself and start building a brand. If you want to be that, if like that's what you want your brand to be, recreating this would be super cool. Doing a demo of this would be super cool. Giving your thoughts and opinions on this would be super cool. This conical? No. DJ Bisek says it's conical. I don't know what the hell. All right, let's go on.
Just to unveil Critical Infrastructure Council. According to a notice in the U.S. Federal Register, the Department of Homeland Security will introduce its replacement for the Critical Infrastructure Partnership Advisory Council, called the Alliance of National Councils for Homeland Operational Resilience Critical Infrastructure, otherwise known as Anchor CI. CPAC was dismantled earlier in 2025 as part of the Trump administration's reshuffle of DHS advisory bodies. The difference between these information sharing bodies is that this new council will be exempt from public transparency laws to, quote, reflect the sensitive nature of the subject matter involved regarding the assessment and mitigation of security and operational risks through whole of government coordination and strong partnership with the private sector. CISA will oversee Anchor CI and give its leadership greater authority over the body's composition and direction.
Okay, so here we go. This is not a political show. Don't try to make it a political show. Try to keep it focused on track, especially on cyber. So, Department of Homeland Security, CISA, oh my God, oh my God, what is CISA? I can't believe I'm having like a brain fart right now of what the C in CISA stands for. Oh my God, it stands for cybersecurity. Like, I'm like, okay, because I think of the S as security. Okay. All right. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. Like, basically, they are the technical, SecOps defender under the Department of Homeland Security, right? Jen Easterly famously was the director of CISA not too long ago. CISA is responsible for several different things, including threat intelligence and also election security, which is where I think this is going to go. They, as soon as the new administration came in, Jen left as director. They didn't even have a leader for a hot minute. And then they had interim leaders, and now they are changing how they're doing information sharing with critical infrastructure. And essentially, the key difference here is it's called Anchor CI, whatever. It's going to do the same thing. The only difference is public transparency. So we've got a government agency that's going to have no public transparency. This non-public transparency organization will have 4 different types of councils. One's going to be focused on federally designated critical infrastructure sectors, which there are, I think, 16 of. One is cross-sector councils to deal with emerging threats like cyber attacks, whatever. Critical infrastructure industry councils and regional coordinating councils. So this is pretty cool, right? Essentially, this is if this is going to be truly what the goal is, let me share this with you. There are things called ISACs, okay? If you're a member of a lot of different critical infrastructures like transportation, healthcare, energy, like airline or aviation is not a critical infrastructure, but there's an aviation ISAC, there's an automotive ISAC. If you're a member of these different higher education, if you're a member of one of these industries, there is a private, like invite only ISAC for you. And those ISACs are phenomenal. They share intel. You get to talk with other people who are doing the similar work, similar role, similar industry as you. And there's huge value in that. And it sounds like this is kind of like what this group's focus is that they're going to be allowing managing critical infrastructure information. So like friggin' Volt Typhoon, when that was going on and the United States government had visibility into China's tampering with energy sector out in the western part of the country. If you worked in that area, you could get insights and intel privately from the government. Now, it's always been private meaning like it's just not published publicly. And the whole idea behind not having it published publicly is so that the threat actors who are doing the bad thing don't also subscribe to the feed and find out like, oh, it looks like they're on to us. Like, let's pivot, right? With public transparency, I think it's much more about like how money is being spent and where priorities are being shared. So we'll see how it goes. I will tell you, my first thought on this one was much more insidious on what I thought the reason was. Let's see. A source told Cyberscoop, who's reporting on this, that Secretary Markwayne Mullen was sympathetic to concerns from critical infrastructure owners and operators that they felt abandoned under Kristi Noem's leadership, which is true, because Kristi Noem's priorities when she was department chair or agency lead or whatever, secretary of DHS, was not really focused on any of this. So this looks like a win, guys. If you work in critical infrastructure, if you don't know what critical infrastructure is, let's just do this really quickly. These were defined under an executive order by Obama. And they're, like I said, I think there's 16 or 17. Here, you can see here. These all fall under CISA, right? They're right here on screen. Chemical, dam, like you might even know that dams are critical infrastructure. Food and agro, somebody get Kathy Chambers online too. The defense industrial base, which is why CMMC is a thing now. communications, of course, IT, financial, etc. So protecting these is a priority. And this seems like the United States government is reprioritizing their priorities in a post-Christie Nome world. Great. I love it. I hope election security doesn't get wrapped up in this whole thing. We're going to find out in a few months. Yeah.
Akaido buys Root. We've seen a number of market solutions attempting to resolve the seemingly Gordian knot of open source security in the age of AI, where many companies and consortiums are looking to build solutions. Akaido Security is definitely trying the buy approach. They acquired the company Root.io, which offers an agentic vulnerability remediation solution that looks for newly published vulnerabilities and then uses swarms of agents to research, write, test, and ship patches with a claim time of around 40 minutes total. Terms of the deal were not disclosed, but Root has raised $37.6 million in funding rounds since 2022. We don't cover a ton of startup acquisitions on this show, but this definitely seemed to be part of a trend in the open source security story.
All right. So I'll do my best to derive value for practitioners from this, because it's basically about a commercial acquisition. Belgian company Akaido is acquiring Root.io. So if you had stock options in Root.io, you're probably lighting a cigar on with $100 bill right now, and I don't know, driving in the fast lane, crossing 3 lanes with the rooftop down, screaming money ain't a thing. Okay. By the way, shout out to Root.io. They sell agentic vulnerability remediation. So this company went from zero to hero pretty quickly, since agentic vulnerabilities wasn't a thing until recently. This is kind of nuts, yo. So this makes no sense to me. It fixes open source software without forced upgrades. So how do you fix it? If you don't upgrade the code, who gives a crap? Oh, 1 second. So when a new vulnerability is published, swarms of specialized agents research, write, test, and ship a patch in 15 minutes. Against the weeks the process can take by hand, sure. Fix goes straight into the container. Software dependencies the company's already running. At the version, it's pinned, so there's no rebuild, no migration. In 4 out of 5 cases, Root makes no code changes at all. I don't get that. How do you patch some code and not make changes to code? If it was configuration changes, sure, I'm here for it. But I don't think 80% of vulnerabilities are configuration related. The story says what the story says, so I must just be a big old fool and not understand how this works. But I agree. Listen, I agree 1,000% that open source software is an absolute gaping hole in the side of our boat right now. And it does require attention. It does require a lot of focus and effort by our industry, since basically AI is making finding vulnerabilities in open source trivial and exploiting it trivial. I saw in the news this morning, thank you, DJ BSEC, that Mythos is going to be re-released publicly tomorrow or later today or something like that, which again is just a insert key, turn, push button, get instant exploit for vulnerability. So we'll see. Again, this for practitioners, dude, at least in the world that I live in, as as a CISO, I would never be hey, let's get ourselves some Aikido now. This story doesn't change anything that I do day in and day out. It is interesting to see that this is the way, and people are spending lots of money to acquire this capability. So I love that, and I think open source software needs this type of help. But whatever. This is one of those things that you just kind of keep your eye on.
Info on the next iPhone exposed in data leak. According to documents seen by Reuters, a ransomware group stole data from the Indian supplier Tata Electronics, which notably provides components for Apple's iPhones. The group World Leaks published more than 200,000 files on its leak site, including lists of components and suppliers, as well as photos of the upcoming iPhone 18 Pro. Reuters sources say Apple considers this to be sensitive data. From an operational perspective, it reveals where Apple uses multiple suppliers for different components and where it has comparatively less leverage in supplier negotiations. Tata is one of Apple's biggest contract manufacturers of devices. And now, thanks to today's episode sponsor.
All right. Okay, so whatever. Intellectual property gets leaked. Remember, Apple is a hardware company, according to them. Threat actors got some of this content, not from Apple themselves, but from a third-party supplier. Of course, large Fortune 5 companies are going to have tons of vendors working for them, doing all sorts of stuff. Here's my thing. Dude, we're kind of, in my opinion, like we've kind of gone away from, or we've evolved past the idea that like someone's going to take these iPhone 18 plans and come out with the like my guy phone 18 that's like a complete ripoff knockoff. Like all of the money to manufacture all the parts, the silicon, the M3 chips, like which aren't even on the iPhone, but you get my point. It's like listen, right now I could accidentally download the entire iPhone schematics or whatever. And you know what I'm not going to be building this afternoon with my lunch? An iPhone. Like, again, I'm not dismissing the value of that intellectual property, but I don't know what is the impact, right? Again, listen, I love GRC, of course, but like when we think about risk, right? Yes, all things are risky, of course, right? But like, what is the impact? What is the likelihood and what is the impact? This is like day one GRC stuff, okay? Day one. Oh, Alpha Sierra's in chat? Yes, we shall blow out the copyright. Thank you, Sarah Montgomery. We'll give Alpha Sierra a warm welcome. Listen, when we do risk, we think about likelihood and impact. That, like, if someone asks you in a job interview, what is risk or whatever, just say likelihood and impact, next question, and then give them a firm high five across the table. Be like, my guy. This one right here, the likelihood of it happening isn't very high, but like, what is the impact? If somebody gets these schematics, like, I don't know if this seems more like the physical layer, right? If they got the source code for iOS 8, whatever version it is right now, that could be really bad because you could, reverse it, find exploits before it comes out, 0 days, all that stuff is bad. But we're not talking about the source code for the operating system. We're talking about the 6 files that cover like the main logic board, the battery components, the camera hardware. Again, not something I want to get out, but like from a risk perspective, what is the risks? Let's see. Among the leaked materials, oh my God, were images stamped to early 2026, durability testing at a Tata plant. The ransomware group that did it is called World Leaks. World Leaks. I'll just tell you, that's a ransomware threat actor's name I've never heard of before. Remember, don't think because you haven't heard of it, everybody else has heard of it. It's a big thing in our industry around like imposter syndrome. And you're like, oh crap, I've never heard of World Leaks. I thought I was on top of things knowing shiny hunters. I'm way behind. No, dude, there's threat actors all over the place. They're like this, like, kind of like amorphous, gooey thing, like the silver goo from Terminator 2. Like they crop up and go down. So whatever, World Leaks, it is what it is. I don't know if Apple's going to pay. Probably not, since the data came out already. Tata is wearing all the egg. Oh, by the way, this is one other thing to share really quickly. Remember, sometimes when an organization suffers a data breach, they are not the one who suffers the outcome. It can be the other organization. So for in this example, Tata had the problem. Apple is the one who's the story lead, right? So when you're doing tabletop exercises and stuff, and you introduce a scenario with a third party, vendor of yours suffers a data breach and it results in like whatever data, you can also throw an inject that like a news story gets run that says your company has massive data breach, or your company's customers suffered major data breach. Like kind of wrap it so like your company's being dragged through the mud publicly. An interesting inject.
Silent push. Most cybersecurity approaches are completely reactive. Victim organizations are hit with an attack, and then the chase ensues. Silent Push closes this gap with its preemptive cyber defense platform. Silent Push tracks adversary infrastructure and infrastructure changes across the internet during the attack preparation phase, while attackers are still staging domains, IPs, and hosting. And Silent Push turns that into indicators of future attack to defend with confidence. For a CISO, that turns invisible risk into early warning, an average of 140 days before a campaign shows up in your environment. Time to act and a smaller window of exposure before a threat ever reaches your environment. Learn more at silentpush.com. Crash flaw found in
Forget About Me, always a good one. We'll do the laws at the end. Did this, I haven't been doing this lately, but Alpha Sierra is in the chat, and we're a big fan here of Alpha Sierra. She's our drum major alongside Marcus Kyler. I hope, let me know if the music, it's hard for me to tell. It's hard for me to tell if the music's too loud, that it's conflicting with me speaking or not, or if you guys can't hear it. So just let me know in chat. Guys, I want to say thank you so very much to all of you. Thank you to the stream sponsors, ThreatLocker, Anti-Siphon, and Flare. Let me go ahead and pause this really quickly, because if I have to scrub the video afterwards and we scrub Flare's ad read, that would be really bad for business, i.e. they probably wouldn't want to renew. All right, guys, listen really quickly. Flare, threat intelligence platform. I've told you guys before, many of you have used Flare. Flare is the identity, like you might, who is Flare? Flare is the identity-focused threat intelligence platform that shows if your company's data, like credentials, access, sensitive files, is being leaked or sold on the dark web, Telegram, or hacker forums, and it helps you act fast to reduce real risk. You get to see how threat actors really operate. Flare gives you a front row seat to the criminal underground, from ransomware crews to access brokers to stealer log marketplaces, Telegram leak channels, the works. Flare shows where cybercrime actually happens, and now, with its identity exposure management capabilities, it shows how attackers log in. It's very simple, y'all. Go to simplycyber.io/flare, simplycyber.io/flare. Here we go, simplycyber.io/flare. Very simple. Go there, you fill out this form, they vet that you're not a criminal, and then you get access to it for 2 weeks, no cost, no questions, no nothing. Dudes, you don't have to run this through procurement. Right? You can run this through procurement. And I mean, you don't have to run this through procurement. I'm telling you, just check it out. I used it for a week. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. You basically jump in there. Here's the deal. If somebody in your environment gets compromised and you don't detect it, this gives you a second chance to detect it. I love it. All right, let's keep going here, because every day of the week has a special segment, and Wednesdays is Way Back Wednesday, where we kick it old school, an old piece of tech. We've got a couple great options in here. I think Kimberly Can Fix It has made a suggestion for next week, but I wanted to share this one with you because I remember this being like the thing when I was a kid. Okay, look at this, guys. I want to take you back to yesteryear, where, and I think these things still exist. Hold on, I'm trying to find a good example here. There we go. Oh, the Whistler. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, may I present you the radar detector. Now, I literally haven't seen anyone, friends, families, loved ones, use this thing. I haven't seen it hanging in anyone's car. Back in the day, okay, guys, back in the day, it was super common to buy one of these things. Essentially, it detects a police speed gun, and you would just drive, and you would be doing like 90, right? All the speed limits were 65. You'd be going like 30, 40 over the speed limit, just hand out the window, feeling yourself, listening to Simple Minds on the radio. And then this thing would be like beep, 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 beep. And you'd jam on your brakes, and then you'd cruise past the speed trap. Like, I've always been doing 65, officer. And then as soon as you get around the corner, you'd hammer that pedal again and just start hauling butt. It is illegal in Virginia, which is wicked funny. So you'd have to pull it down under the under the desk. Exactly. Kai Cypher I'm with you, dude. I use Waze all the time. Waze is like, hey, there's a cop up ahead. Period. You don't even have to think about it. I love it. So, anyways, I like to feature technology that's basically been superseded on the show. Like I said, Kimberly Can Fix It is submitted next week's, so we'll get onto that next week. By the way, spoiler alert: you will never not think of Simply Cyber if you're in an elevator, a grocery store, a hotel lobby, and you hear this song play. I've heard this song play in all of those locations, and I immediately think of the mid-roll. Of course, I do this every day, but just shout out to the mid-roll. Shout out to Sierra Montgomery for suggesting it. Shout out to Alpha Sierra. Hope everything's well with you. Let's get back into the news.
Found in AirDrop and QuickShare. Two researchers from the CISPA Helmholtz Center for Information Security documented 6 total flaws in Apple's AirDrop and Android's QuickShare features that allow an attacker with a laptop and no prior connection to potentially crash either service. Crashing AirDrop requires a device that can receive files from everyone and requires sending a malformed request on a loop to crash the service, which also subsequently takes down AirPlay, handoff, and continuity camera features. On QuickShare, the flaw involves skipping past a secure handshake between devices and passing unencrypted messages. All these flaws can only be executed at short range. Apple and Samsung have begun patching the flaws, and there's no evidence of exploitation.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
All right.
Over 4 million.
Man, I miss this. Priceless Pancake, hashtag Team SC. Thank you, Priceless Pancake, with the super chat. And if I'm not mistaken, you started a new job that like changed your hours, right? Was it? I think that was it. All right, so 6 flaws in AirDrop and QuickShare. I don't know if AirDrop is a Bluetooth protocol or some type of NFC protocol, but essentially, if you've ever like taken an iPhone and like bumped uglies with another iPhone, like you can like share contacts and stuff. You can also just straight up choose AirDrop and share it with someone who's local. Again, this is one of those ones, likelihood and impact, I'm going to be thinking about. Very cool to do an AirDrop, right? Or a QuickShare. I think QuickShare is the Android version of AirDrop. But what is the likelihood and what is the impact? Like, why do I care about this? Is this just cute or is this something I'm concerned about? Well, number one, the impact is crashing the phone, right? Let's see. You can crash the phone, cause it, you'll have to reboot the phone or whatever. What else is there a problem here? Yeah, so it doesn't look like you can put malware on someone's phone and then have it detonate and you get access to their device and everything like that. It just seems like you can be a peckerhead and ruin their day. Okay, so there's kind of the impact. Likelihood, I mean, you have to be physically present within, whatever the personal area network is. So like 8-10 feet. Having said that, I mean, you could be on let's play this out. You could be on like a subway or an airplane and you could screw up everybody's like in-flight entertainment because you screw up their ability for their phone to connect to their Bluetooth headphones. Yes, you would be an a-hole. That's like the definition of what that is. You would be an absolute jerk to do that. But as a cyber professional, are we talking about, crown jewels getting compromised? No. Are we talking about, if anything, it feels like more like inconvenience than anything. Of course, if you turn off AirDrop, you're not going to get it anyway. So I don't know. To me, this like firmly lays in the realm of interesting research, but not like super, like borderline like academic research, right? Is this an academic research paper? Is this an academic research paper? Who is the RX? Hold on, so this is a paper coming out of this group, free distribution service, open access. Yeah, so, okay. This is something that you'll see from time to time. Again, Justin Gold always likes to make fun of me for this, but like, I do have a PhD. I did go through academia. I teach in academia. I'm well aware of like academic research, and academic research has to be super rigorous. call out limitations, thorough, et cetera, et cetera. And what we end up seeing a lot of times in my experience is that like academic research is always like really well done and interesting, but a lot of times it's like, it's cool, but it's like completely removed from any reality of like what we care about as practitioners. And this is an example right here. Like, yes, this is cool. It is a real bug in AirDrop. It's a real bug in a technology that many of us have right now, but like, it's not really a problem, right? Day in and day out, I'm not like crapping my pants, like closing the stream and going to work and saying, let's go. Like another example, just to give you another, is like there was some academic research showing that you could use a laser beam to go across a long distance and then like get the heat signature from people's keyboards to see like what they've been typing. And you were able to like transmit like 1 byte every 3 seconds or something. So yeah, with enough time and enough patience, you'd be able to steal their password. But like the victim would have to like be very robotic about how they're doing it. You know, the atmospheric elements wouldn't have to change. Like a million things would have to be perfect for it to work, but it would work, right? So anyways, I'm much more interested in like the risk of somebody calling help desk and asking for their password to be reset, because that's where I live is reality.
Impacted by Aflac Japan breach. In a filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, Aflac Japan disclosed that it suffered a data breach from June 15th through June 25th. Information on 4.38 million customers and agents was likely impacted. Compromised data includes names, addresses, phone numbers, security information, and insurance account information. The breach also impacted about 230,000 people doing insurance transfers, but no credit card information was accessed. No word on who breached the systems or how they were accessed. Booking.
All right, Aflac. Remember when Gordon Godfrey, was it Gordon Godfrey or whatever? Remember when he was the Aflac guy for a minute? Let's see. Hacker stole information on 4 million customers. Okay. So what was the actual problem? Of course, Aflac has to publicly file this because they are a publicly traded company. Thank God for transparency and requiring publicly traded companies to do this. Let's see, what is the actual, what do they get, right? Names, address, phone number, date of birth, gender, security information. Security information, what does that mean? Insurance account information. Like, listen, I know what a phone number is. I know what a date of birth is. I know what a gender is. I don't know what security information is. Does that mean their password? Does that mean their secret, like, you know, where they went to school, what their mother's maiden name is? Like, that's a little fuzzy. For a person who likes facts, that's not really a Gilbert Godfrey. Thanks, TJ. He was like one of the first people to get canceled. Like when cancel culture started, I feel like Gilbert Godfrey was one of the first. The insurance premium transfer account, Excelled. All right. So this is a, you know, whatever classic example where a company gets breached and it's all of our data that gets compromised, not about them. Okay. Like Aflac, definitely not loving this one, but none of their information's compromised. It's just us as customers. They'll probably offer you a year of identity theft protection so you can enjoy that. Spoiler alert, if you're running 17 concurrent versions of identity theft protection because your data has been breached all over the place, an 18th one isn't really going to move the needle for you. Number two, you should always be vigilant. I would treat this is a great, if you're looking for something to share with your end users just to add value, around security awareness, definitely let them know that, hey, like when your data gets compromised in these data breaches, you have identity theft protection, but that's typically around them like registering for a credit card in your name or, you know, trying to like buy a car or something. Like a threat actor taking your information and calling you because they have your phone number and they know your name and address and they know that you're an Aflac customer and they have your insurance account information. It's not unrealistic for a threat actor to call you and be like, hey, this is Johnny from Aflac. I'm just calling to confirm some information. Is this your address? Yes. Is this your full name? Yes. Is this your insurance account number? Yes. All right. Well, we're seeing that you have an outstanding balance of like, $280, and we're going to, introduce a $3,000 penalty if you don't, and we're going to cancel your insurance today. Whatever. Would you like to make that cash credit or Best Buy gift card? Like, none of that's going to get captured by an identity theft thing. So, what I would just say is like, be mindful. Like, this is a social engineering cesspool of initial information. Like when we do recon, like that's that information. Plus, again, security information. You tell me what that means. Is this like my one-time codes? Is this my backup codes? Is this like my keyword that I can use to validate my identity? I don't know.
Partners get booking.fished. Researchers at Trend Micro reported a campaign called Ton Resolver, which saw threat actors sending phishing emails impersonating Booking.com, trying to get staff to execute malicious files, mostly focusing on Japanese hotels. These emails pose as either guest complaints or reviews, and attempt to get hotel staff to engage in follow-up conversations with the attacker. The campaign uses the Open Network blockchain platform as a dead drop resolver, and ultimately looks to install a remote access Trojan on hotel devices.
All right. We're running a little late. If you work in hospitality, be mindful of this. But all I would say is the cool thing, right? Again, I'm not, I don't sponsor, condone, endorse cybercrime. Like, I'm not into that, but I do respect and can appreciate novel, innovative techniques that threat actors use to achieve their goals. They're using blockchain for C2. That's it. That's the deal. They're using C2 blockchain for C2. If you don't know what C2 is, it's command and control. If you don't know what blockchain is, it's an immutable record in digital, cyberspace that can only be written to and read, but it can't be modified. Or, I guess writing to it is modifying it, but you can't edit existing records on the blockchain, which means you can go back and look at them all. But it also means that defenders, law enforcement can't delete those blockchain things. So it's definitely going to be there for the threat actors. Definitely worth looking. Not a new technique. It's been around. If you are new to industry or you're either an offensive security person looking to get into red teaming and mimic threat actor behavior, you can use C2 on a blockchain. Or if you're a defender and you want to crush it, you can introduce this into your skill set or bring it up in an interview. I do see a graphic right now. If you didn't know, I have a very unhealthy penchant for infographics. So give me a second. This is basically a straight process flow. It's very informative, but let's go here. Phishing email, victim clicks on link, goes to suspicious URL. Sure. They extract and download zip file. So at this point, my guy, step 4 here at the top, you're downloading and extracting zip files. That's a problem. Then you're clicking on links. Oh my God. Carl, Carl's our token end user. Listen, first thing is awareness, right? Awareness. How's the attack happen so we can stop it? Number 2, let's put in controls, defense in depth. Number 1, phishing email comes in at the top. My guy, it's called an email security gateway. Get one. Number 2, clicks on hyperlink. Let's educate our end users not to click on silly things. Number 3, suspicious URL. How about a firewall that stops network traffic to suspicious known URLs? Number 4, extract and download zip files. It's called EDR, endpoint detection and response. Don't allow someone to extract and download, or you would download it first. They wrote this in the wrong order, but download and then extract zip files. Execute shortcut link. How about permissions on the endpoint so end users can't run a non-executables or a threat locker type tool that just does not allow this to go? Goes back to a suspicious URL. Good thing you've already put firewall rules in place, so this isn't going to happen. Execute and download a PowerShell script. My guy, it's called permissions. Don't allow it. At this point, now it's creating services. You could have detections in place that fire when event IDs come in about creating new services. There's a million opportunities here to stop this attack from happening. We got a first timer in chat, JDS38. Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
really quickly, just for the sake of conversation, because I just spent a few minutes like gushing over this thing. All right, some love for the infograph. But anyway, dude, do you see how easy it is for me to educate on all the defense in depth things using an infograph? I'm telling you, infographics are like, they're a W.
UK healthcare sector sees cyber attacks spike. According to a new report from SonicWall, the UK's health sector saw a tenfold increase in attacks in the first half of 2026 compared to all of 2025. SonicWall recorded 264,000 individual events in the first half of the year, compared to 27,000 events for all of last year, with more total events than any other vertical. 41% of events seen by the company were attempts to exploit the Log4Shell vulnerability. This is partially because NHS workflows in the UK rely on Java-based clinical applications that can't easily be replaced. The CISO series has some...
All right. For the sake of time, I'm going to speed run this story. If you work in the UK, so Roswell UK is our token person. If you work in healthcare in the UK, massive increase in cyber attacks. Realistically, I would say if you work in healthcare, there's probably an increase overall in cyber attacks. They do mention some systems that can't be updated. I worked in healthcare for a number of years. Jesse Johnson worked in healthcare, and he talks about this too. Dude, in my opinion, if you can get a job working in cyber and healthcare, you are going to speed run work experience. Like 1 year of cybersecurity work in healthcare is equal to like 5 years of cybersecurity experience somewhere else. Like, you just get exposed to a lot of problems, a lot of end users that have God complexes, and you get exposed to a lot of technology that like is just different. Biomedical devices, you got vendors coming in. It's wild what's happening in healthcare. Threat actors are aware that a lot of healthcare tech can't be updated. They're aware of a lot of network access points into healthcare environments, and they're exploiting the crap out of them. That's it. The good thing, not the good thing, but the interesting thing is that this company that did the report has all these sensors in place that allows them to detect essentially kind of like honey tokens or honey pots to detect attempts, and they're seeing an increase. This report, listen, this report is a report that you can use to get more budget, straight cash, homie, okay? That's what this is. Yo, we've got a huge uptick in activity. There's demonstrable evidence to support this. We are at risk. Please give me some money so I can protect us from having an absolute catastrophe here. Don't say I didn't tell you so. Come at me, bro. All right, let's keep going. All right, guys, we did it. We did the whole thing. This has been Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief, July 1st, 2026, episode 1165. Don't forget to get your CPEs here for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Great to see Alpha Sierra. Thank you all the squad members who joined the squad today or shared their milestones. That was phenomenal. I'm going to do some squad memberships tomorrow since we're going to be going into a holiday weekend, so come back for that tomorrow. I don't really do a great job of promoting this, but if you're here right now, let me share with you. Don't go anywhere because we're going to Cyber Career Hotline. This is a 30-minute Ask Me Anything, different program from the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, but I do have a ton of experience and love helping people. So phone lines are open. If you got any questions, come give them to me. Let's have some fun. I'm Jerry, your chat. Till next time, stay secure.
I'm Dr. Gerald Auger. This is the Cyber Career Hotline. If you're building a career in cybersecurity, this show is for you. Let's get into it.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the party. This is Cyber Career Hotline. I'm your host, Jerry Guy, sans glasses. I've got chat open. I've got mod chat roasting me, and I am ready to give you the next 30 minutes of my life and answer whatever questions you have. Let's go. All right. Sarah Montgomery's making jokes. Good to see you, FedEx, in the chat. Phone lines are open. I will say Cyber Risk Witch always puts her questions with a phone in front of it, which is really, really funny. For you youngs who don't know, back in the day, can I do this? Yeah. Back in the day, you would call in to helplines like remember Loveline on MTV? That's kind of like what I was going for here, except I don't want to hear questions about like, you know, your intimacy. It's much more cyber career. It's called Cyber Career Hotline for a reason. So what questions we got? Put a Q in chat ahead of time and I'll answer them. I think I alluded to something earlier in the show. If someone can remind me, I'm happy to answer it. First question coming from Sierra. Why should you go to Anti-Siphon's training deploying emergency comms with drones and mesh features at Luke Canfield and Evan Kirsten today? Great question. Let's check that out really quickly. Anti-Siphon training, our very own Luke Canfield, who's in chat right now, is doing a webcast today. Hold on, where is it? Let me back up. Oh, no, it is. What am I? First time here. Like, first time using a computer. Check this out. Deploying emergency communications with drones and mesh. Luke Canfield, Evan right here, both well-versed in drones. I know for a fact, I've talked to Luke multiple times. Luke actually gets, I guess, commissioned. I don't know what the right word is, but he gets paid to come help people with their drones and drone security. He knows exactly what he's doing with it. It is awesome. Now, if you work in any type of corporate America and you don't really work with drones, that's really, really fine. No big deal. So why would you want to go to this? Listen, number one, this gives you exposure and insight. Hold on, sign up for free webcast on drone security today. There we go. Listen, this is one of those opportunities, okay? To me, this is one of those opportunities where you get exposed to something completely different than anything that you normally work with. And guys, if you want to like really level up in our industry, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable and exposing yourself to new concepts. For 1 hour, you go to this thing, I guarantee you in 1 hour, you come out with at least one new piece of knowledge that you can just casually whip out in a interview, in a meeting. And by the way, like a lot of people don't know about drones and drone security and mesh networks and emergency communications, but they're important. So level yourself up, support Simply Cyber community members. And Sierra, thank you for the question. All right, continuing to look through chat. You got a question, put it in chat with a Q. We are here for you. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Good to see Kyle. Kyle in the chat. Steve Young, good to see you. Pirate Kitty, a relative first timer, 3 weeks in. How's it going to make how is it going making the website for your friend's daughter? I'm excited to hear about the progress and learn from the outline you are making. All right, so let me share this with you. Great question. I'm going to show it to you right now. So for those who don't know, I had a project that's like, I would say 80, like phase one is absolutely complete. So I believe that it's vitally important to not just get technical skills, but everyone's got technical skills right now. So it's vitally important to stand out. How do you stand out? By positioning yourself, personally branding yourself, positioning yourself as I'm this person, I do this type of work, this is it. That doesn't mean that you don't have multiple interests, multiple capabilities. It just means you are focusing and like laser targeting who you are and how you can help people. Now, I worked with a individual, I'm going to show you in a second, on rebranding her website, rebranding everything about her, okay? And it's worked out really well, and that was phase one, and it completed. We had some challenges getting aligned. Unfortunately, you know, she basically got a little under the weather and could not meet the time requirements that I needed. And the window that I had to work on that project closed because now I'm traveling and I'm working on a whole bunch of other projects. So I had to put the phase two on hold because I just don't have time for it. So having said that, I'll show it to you. I'll show you phase one, okay, Pirate Kitty, and then I'll explain what phase two was. So really quickly, this was, and I have her permission to do this, but this is phase one, okay? So Apurva, Bakshi, right? You can see here, she's right here on stream. Okay, so I went through and did a full LinkedIn audit. I actually have her previous LinkedIn account and now her new one, and you can do compare and contrast, okay? You can see like very clear header. Her profile picture is more professional now. Like this is much more explanatory of who she is. Her about got fixed. She wants to be a GRC analyst, right? So everything in here talks about her experience, her degree in animation and game arts, right? Which you might not think is a GRC thing, but she does a great job of being able to visually communicate to people information, which is what GRC people do. So everything in here is targeted. We cleaned up her features. So now this goes to, this needs to be fixed right here, but this goes to the website I built for her. Much more clean website. I gave her I registered the domain name. You can't see it, but it's hername.com. And you can see here, nice, clean website. Everything about it explains who she is and why she can bring value to a GRC team, right? Super clean, super easy. You can see these are her skills. This is her experience. We set her up with a blog. The blog is designed, she needs to make updates to this blog, but the blog is designed to create content that will be targeting for AI and AI engine optimization. Plus, every blog post, she can use LinkedIn to make posts about and point back, which will then raise her website and search results. And then, of course, how to contact her to talk about giving her work, giving her a job. She's actively working for GRC analyst roles in Northern Virginia. She's got a GitHub that I built her, right? It's, obviously it's not being fully fleshed out. We got her set up with this professional looking photo, etc. So that's phase one. So she's fully loaded up. Now, phase two, and this is what I've told her to do, I just haven't done this yet. Phase two is she needs to keep a daily diary. 3 things. What is she doing that is like helping her become a GRC professional? What's her experience like? And then a third one I forget is how is she feeling, right? And basically every week I want her to take her diary entries, dump them into AI, and then have AI kind of flesh out a post for her blog that is aligned with her content pillars. Content pillars are like things that you should only be talking about online. Again, it's all about laser focusing yourself online. And by using those pillars in her diary entries, she's going to get nice, clean LinkedIn posts. Now, you don't just copy and paste the AI into your blog post, right? You have to refactor it, but it gives you a great draft. Once you do that, you can make your blog post and then use the blog post to create a LinkedIn post that gives value and directs to the blog post. And then she'll start growing. People will start connecting. That's it. So that was phase one shown. Phase two is where I need to go with her, but I just don't have time for it. When I do get back to this project, I will provide everybody with all of the AI prompts I use to build her website and clean her LinkedIn site up. I will give all the insights on how to do the content pillars. I'll give you all the insights on how to build your own personal brand. I think what I'm going to do is actually create a course in Simply Cyber Academy that's like 4 lectures and you follow it along. If you have any questions about this project, let me know. Pirate Kitty, thanks for asking. Again, I wish I had the time to do it. I allocated 2 weeks to do it. I set her all up. She got ill and she's fine now, but I basically ran out of time and I don't have time to do it anymore. All right. So let's keep going. Did you know that Palantir is woven in our daily life? What's the risk of being compromised? Yeah, Soulshine, it seems like Palantir and Flock is all together. I don't know about compromise as much as it, in my opinion, it's much more about widespread, covert kind of manipulation. Quick question from Silence Poet. Doing review and challenge with risk is requiring me to do narratives that are very different from what I wrote when working in the SOC. Any idea on how to adjust? I keep making logic jumps. Review and challenge with risk. I guess Silence Poet, it's the thing that I always do, right? Or at least how I think It's like, okay, like here's a vulnerability, right? Because that's where risk comes. It comes from vulnerabilities. Like here's a vulnerability. Like what's the likelihood and what's the impact to the organization? What are the threats that would what are the threats that would want to exploit this vulnerability? And then what's the likelihood of that threat? And then if it does happen, what is the impact of it? Right? And then give that narrative. And then also Silence Poet, I love using case study. Anytime you can use a case study, meaning like this other organization suffered a similar situation, so there's documented precedent, that's super valuable. All right, continuing to look through chat right now. Thanks everybody who is here offering questions. Donald says Veracrypt container encryption and open source quantum encryption tools would be available to me. That doesn't seem like a question. It seems like you exploited the queue, so I'd put it on screen. I don't know what that meant. Would working as a hardware and systems tech be good starting point working in IT, having a first round interview next week for that kind of role? Zach Morrison, yeah. I mean, hardware and systems tech for sure. I mean, that is IT. You're working in it. Good luck on the interview too, man. Hey, by the way, Zach, I just released a video. On Simply Cyber. This video right here. I'm going to drop a link to it.
There are 3 questions that you are absolutely going to get in basically every single cybersecurity interview that you ever walk into. And here's the good news, because you already.
So Zach, I can't tag you in chat for whatever reason, but you can see I just put it in there. This is a video I made the other day. These are 3 questions. I don't care if it's a hardware and systems technician, a SOC analyst, a whatever interview. These are 3 questions that you're very, very likely to get. Like I have high confidence you will get these questions. In this video, I tell you what the 3 questions are, and then I tell you how to answer them to absolutely slay the interview. Please take advantage of this video, dude. I want you to be in the driver's seat on whether or not you want this job or not. So please take advantage of that. And everybody interviewing, like, watch this video, dude. I'm telling you, it's sick. Michael Fink says, just had owners replace one of my job functions with AI. How would you handle the feeling of being slowly replaced by using AI and balance the need to embrace new tech? Yeah, I don't like it, of course. I mean, dude, I told you, I have people in my life that have just been laid off because AI took their job. They were software developers. So here's what I would say, Michael. Same thing I always say, honestly. Dude, you have to be the CEO of you. You have to level up. You have to make yourself super valuable. You have to assume that, like, at any point you could get laid off. It sucks that the power dynamic is that messed up. And we live in, like, basically, like, techno-feudalism where we're like a bunch of serfs running around in the fields outside the castle walls and just, like, totally beholden to the employer. Bump that noise, dude. I'd rather live in like a reasonable shack on the side of a hill and kind of be my own king than, this digital fiefdom type thing. So I've been reading Wheel of Time. I'm in book 14 now. So I've been kind of big on this high fantasy stuff. So my references might be that way. So I'm not a big fan. What I would say is I would get really familiar. Here's my thing. Whatever AI they use to replace you for that job function, I would get really familiar with it, because when that AI goes off the rails, they're probably going to be like, Michael, can you help us? The AI is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. And you're like, you could introduce yourself some job security because, like, you're the only one who knows how to fix the AI. But I would start getting, whatever, CEO of you. When a project trails off or gets put on hold, how to get back up in speed when it's rolling? So a guy named 303, this is a great question. Here's what I would do. Okay, this is what I do. I don't do it consistently, but I do it. If a project is feels like it's starting to stall, I use AI a lot, okay? So what I would say to AI is, hey, listen, the project's current status is this, and this. It feels like it's like starting to slow down. I want you to write a brief for me that refreshes me on all the key points and the last action items. So when I ask you, what's the current state of this project, you give me this thing, right? This is called there is a technique for this. But basically, you want to give yourself a primer that locks and loads you with all the current things as of, the day that the project kind of petered off. That's what I would recommend. I have a little side project thing I'm working on, and that's what I've done with that. It's hard to know when to do that because it's not obvious that the project's going to peter off. But this project I just showed you guys with the Perva and personal branding and all that stuff, I did it with that because I knew that I ran out of time and this thing's kind of being put on hold. So that's a good way to do it. Also, another tip or technique that people can use that's a little bit more accessible is scheduling a meeting 2 weeks out, 4 weeks out as just a quick check-in. But in that meeting invite, add a bunch of agenda items that are things that you're thinking of right now because it's top of mind. That way, when you go to the meeting, you're like, oh yeah, hey, remember the current state is this, this, and this. Just want to check, are we still on hold? Yes, yes, yes. Let's schedule another meeting for 3 months out, whatever. But use that agenda in the meeting invite to refresh you on all those things. Dude, nothing's worse than rehashing a bunch of crap you already rehashed. I hope that helps you. Roswell says, a friend of mine is secretly running a fully local deep sea engagement and feels jealous of his coworker using Soul. Should he confess or keep it quiet? Love line. Oh my God, that's so funny. Love line was really funny. Berlinda says, thoughts on AI governance as a real GRC career path, or is it too specialized? No, I don't think AI governance is its own area. I think it's a capability that would be expected of risk professionals and GRC professionals. I don't think it's its own thing. That's like saying is writing policy a specific GRC career path? It's not. It's just part of what's happening. Berlin. So Shield and Slay. What's up, Lindsay? Would you consider taking this info and doing a panel with Jason Blanchard with his how to job hunt like a hacker? Yeah, I mean, I'd be open to that, Lindsay. I mean, I'm doing it to help people. So if I can go wide with it, let's go. I think it's, I mean, here's the thing. When I feel really strongly about something, I get ADHD and focused on it, right? I feel very strongly right now that it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So, I mean, I can teach you how to pass the Sec Plus. I can teach you how to do a SOC lab, but there's a lot of material out there already for it. In my opinion, I don't see a lot of material on how to do personal branding. And listen, another thing that pisses me off is that there's a ton of crap out there that is like charlatans behind paywalls. Oh, take my $1,000 course and I'll teach you how to explode on social media. Give me $5,000 and I'll teach you how to go viral. Dude, blow that out your rear end. That is absolute trash, and it's not sustainable, and it's typically disingenuous, or you're paying for clicks or whatever, which is not building a real network of professional relationships. So for me, it's okay, no one's really doing this. I'm going to do it because I know how to do it. So anyways, to answer your question, yes, Lindsay, I would do it. Applied for an Lucky says, I applied for an IT director position. By the way, this is an absolute heater of a cyber career hotline. I want to thank you guys. I'm happy to do this every time, but some days are more of a heater than others, and we're absolutely crushing it.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Lucky says, applied for an IT director position at my job. Been in jack of all trades positions for 20 years. Recently started focusing on cyber. Any tips to stand out for leadership roles? Good question. Number one, speak the language of leadership, right? They're going to want to talk about money, numbers, management, processes, think strategic, right? So that's what I would think, Lucky. So you want, basically you want to be speaking their language so they see you as one of them, not as a hands-on keyboard techie who's whatever. So yeah, jack of all trades is phenomenal. Like you can do all the things, but make sure that you're shaping that narrative in a way that, like, for example, you could be like, as a, hey guys, with 20 years of experience across the entire organization or across entire tech stacks in a GRC director role, I'm going to be able to really understand where our real cyber risks are versus what appears to be a cyber risk. Like I understand what our external attack surface looks like, and I know how to talk to the engineers in order to ensure that they are securing that external attack surface through proper configuration, proper patch management, proper access control, because I've lived that life. Basically, I'm your Huckleberry because I can speak your language and I can speak their language. I'm basically the Rosetta Stone over here on managing cyber risk. Come at me, bro. Let's talk numbers. Okay, so that's what I would do with you on this one. It's a director position. You might want to, by the way, just another like thing, it's not fair, but it's reality. Dress like them. If you think they're going to be wearing blazers and ties, wear a blazer and a tie. If you think they're going to be wearing blazers, no tie, wear a blazer, no tie. Look like them. Again, it's not fair, but from a social psychology perspective, you want to look like them. By the way, congratulations. I hope you get the job if you want it. Continuing to look through chat. I love Cyber Career Hotline. What you using to diffuse the pink color and create the patterns? So this right here. Okay. Here, let me show you. All right, so this is a production question, but so really quickly, I can't show you guys right now, but like basically I've got a studio, spotlights on me right now. Behind me is, 5 feet behind me. I've got a blue light over here on the flag. I've got a purple light on the ground, and then I have a red light. Let me show it to you really quick, okay? So this is it right here. So it's this 10-watt flashlight. I'll bring it up. And essentially, you put a rubber grommet on it, and then you can slide. There's like a bunch of these different, oh my God, this thing's hot. There's a bunch of these different things right here, FedEx, right? So it looks like this, bro. It looks like this, and then you put the grommet on, and then you put the filter in the grommet. There's a bunch of different ones. Like essentially, I can make it look like there's a window letting light in. I could make it look like a bunch of different things. I think this one's fine for what I'm trying to achieve. Put this into the rubber grommet, doink, and then, you just kind of drop it back here. That's it. I don't know. Bro, you're killing me. Oh, yeah, by the way, it's got different colors. Yellow, white, red, blue. I like the red, right? Because I'm spicy. Spicy! All right. All right. So keep the questions coming. I'm here for you. Looking through chat for questions. Put a Q in there. I'm here for you. We're at 9:30. I'll give it a few more minutes since we're having a great experience. I do like to keep the show to 30 minutes guaranteed. Minnie, the investor, says, how much does HIPAA compliance factor into daily SOC work? And should I have a project showing I understand it? Well, Minnie, it only matters if you work in healthcare, right? So you could work in a SOC, that has nothing to do with healthcare, and that wouldn't matter. Now, let's just assume that you work in a SOC at a healthcare institute. How much does HIPAA compliance factor in? I would say very little. HIPAA is a healthcare law, and with regards to cybersecurity, it's much more about accessing information. Like a little secret is that like HIPAA, like if you work in cyber and healthcare, like HIPAA is like your fifth most important thing, maybe sixth. It is not in the top three. And from a SOC work, you're not really looking for HIPAA violations. So yeah, I mean, having a project showing you understand it is not bad if you're trying to get a job in healthcare, but like the real day in and day out work, it's not going to come up in the SOC. I've been doing certs and also know, hey, Michael, I should be doing labs. How much time should I and others work to get in cyber should split between courses and doing labs? I think labs have more value, honestly. I mean, coursework will give you an understanding. Labs have more value because it can show practical experience. What I would say, Michael, is make sure that you're documenting these things. Like, I don't know if you were here a minute ago, but I showed this website I made for a Simply Cyber community member, and there's a blog on it. You should be writing about your experience, these labs you're doing on the blog, and then going on social media and talking about that experience. So people begin to see that you are learning these things and they realize that you have that practical experience. Right now, practical experience is super valuable. Cyber Risk Witch with the phone. Thank you, Cyber Risk Witch. What's the best way to track the constantly changing AI and data protection regs in a global company? Ooh. I don't know the answer to that question. Does anyone have an answer to this question? I don't know of a single, like, obviously daily cyber threat brief is certainly helpful, but Cyber Risk Witch, I don't know if there's like a single resource that does that. I will say if there isn't, this is a phenomenal option to build as a tool and then absolutely share wildly and wide. Like you could build not a personal brand, but you could go viral as an individual. If this doesn't exist and you invent it and you keep it updated regularly and post about it, like on LinkedIn, hey everybody, like it's July 1st. Here's the updates to the AI and data protection regs across the globe. Like you could absolutely crush it and get an A-load of traffic. If that, I don't know if this exists though, but I think it would be a very cool thing to create. In fact, if you don't create it, I might create it just as an exercise. All right, so Wheel of Time is coming in. Love the Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time, Burke's worth the read. I watched a good chunk of the show. Yeah, a guy named 303. The show on Amazon was like fine. Of all the attempts to make it a show, that was a good one. The book, I mean, it did not do the book's justice. I'm a huge fan of it. I've read it. This is my second time going through all 14 books. The story is amazing. The world building is amazing. The magic system is amazing. The complexity is amazing. The story arcs of the main character is amazing. It's awesome. Dude, it's absolutely awesome. And like a lot of people will crap on the middle of the series, like books like 5, 6, 7. Like, no, like it's awesome. You just got to get on, buckle up, and enjoy the ride. It's a marathon, not a sprint, my guy. Continue to look through chat. Question from Roswell. Dr. Jerry, a friend is torn. Okay. He's doing Love Line. Thank you, Roswell, UK. Kyle, I got a meeting for my second annual review coming up. I already did the part where you write about yourself. Any pro tips for the one-on-one with my supervisor? Yeah, I mean, it depends what you're trying to accomplish, Kyle, with the interview. But like, I mean, if you make it less about like, here's the thing. If they're trying to put you in a box, right? And they're like, oh, here's what you did. You met these things. Good. What I like to do with the one-on-ones, like, sure, like I did these things. You said these things. Like, what's my pay raise? Yes, check. But like, let's get real, supervisor. Like, I want to progress to X. So Kyle, like whatever you're trying to go to, whatever you want to be, like I want this. Here is how I see I can get to it. What are your thoughts on how that plan helps me get to it? And can we make that plan part of my plan for 2026 or 2027, right? If the entire meeting is just a retrospective on what you've already done, then I would use it as an opportunity to highlight like, yes, I did this thing, right? I created a vulnerability management plan. I wrote 15 policies, like whatever you did, Kyle, I'm sure you crushed it, but make sure that you're capturing like, I did these things. I wrote 15 policies because I'm working towards becoming a director of GRC here. I built a vulnerability management program because I want to hopefully grow the program big enough that we can put a junior in and I can manage that person so I can get some management experience. Like Like, take whatever you've done if you're only focusing retrospectively and warp it so you can talk about where you want to go and help the supervisor. Because here's the thing. If you can make the supervisor's job easier of managing you, they are going to welcome it all day long. Good luck with the review, my guy. All right, here we go. All right, it's 9:37. I'm going to give 3 more minutes, and then I got to get out of here. I got a lot of work to do, guys. I'm speed running the rest of the questions. All right. If you would have a side income stream as a cyber pro, considering how AI is replacing jobs, what would you consider doing to keep you on the CEO line of things as a buffer? I mean, I know, like, helping business, like basically helping people that don't know how to use AI develop workflows and processes as like basically a AI consultant. I know a lot of people who are doing that with great success. I think it's a huge opportunity right there. Can you extend the shows on days you're not busy? Yeah, certainly, Soulshine. We do it on tomorrow. We're going to have the panel. My ISO team's barred from directly receiving third-party network scan results on our own infrastructure. Is excluding the security team ever normal? I mean, it is normal. It's usually an indicator of a toxic workplace. All right. Authentically Cyber, our friend Kathy Chambers. Hayden said yesterday on the AI show I host that he believes a big part of GRC jobs will be replaced by AI. Thoughts? Oh, that's a good one. So I guess the thing is, like, let's think about what GRC does. So GRC does risk, GRC does policy, GRC does end user awareness and education. So you could technically say the policy development and questionnaires and stuff could be done by AI. So for sure that could be augmented. Awareness training and end user awareness, sure, but like I think there's a human component to it where people don't want to talk to an AI. People aren't going to like resonate with an AI. So I think the human element there is going to be valuable. I do think AI, I think you could lay off some GRC people and have one person kind of doing all of it using AI to make them a power user. And then when it comes to the risk, that part, I don't know so much. I mean, a lot of times it is rooted in reality, but there's also like a bit of I don't want to call it a gut feeling, but like the risk that I have in my organization, you could have the same tech in a similar sized organization, but it's like a different kind of risk for you because like that application is not necessarily internet facing, or the data you have in it is less sensitive than the data I have in it. So if you're trying to make like a one stop, hit the button solution for like risk management, it's not going to be as nuanced as you kind of need it from a practitioner perspective. And then the final thing that's absolutely going to save GRC people, again, we're not going to need as many GRC per company, but here's the reality. When something goes down cyber, the CEO isn't going to want to turn to AI and ask AI. The CEO is going to want to turn to a human and say, hey, human, go figure this out for me, right? And then the human's going to go use AI. So that it's not going to fully replace it. I mean, that's the equivalent of me telling Hayden that like AI is going to replace the SOC because it can read event logs and write detections and, you know, I don't know. Honestly, the thing I'm seeing right now is, yes, there's a bunch of people getting laid off, but like I'm seeing like companies just seeing the value of every employee doing 5x the work because of AI, not AI replacing humans altogether. All right. We're at time here. I'm scrubbing through chat and I'm caught up. All right, guys. Thank you so very much. This has been an absolute heater of a cyber career hotline. My name was Jerry Guy, and definitely enjoyed the questions today. We had some good energy. I hope you got value. For those who talked about interviewing coming up, I hope you crush it. For those who are looking for work, I hope you are finding opportunities and building a network. For those who are here to help other people, I hope you got value and feel, that kind of nourishment of mentoring and whatnot. We do a lot here at Simply Cyber to be supportive of individuals, to be inclusive of individuals, and to empower everybody to achieve their goals, whatever those goals are. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. See you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Till next time, stay secure.